The hype around Georgia football commit, not just commit, the kid's on campus now. Ryan Puglisi, he's going to be a true freshman this coming season. The hype around him is starting to grow as you see guys like Warren Brinson talk about him on the Players Lounge. I'm going to share a little bit of what he had to say, talk about that situation a little bit with Puglisi, obviously a guy that got to look the early enrollees. If you're not aware of how this works, the early enrollees. So say you're a class of 2024 kid, right? Normally you graduate high school and leave, April, May, June, whatever it is your high school does that of 24. But these kids, they get to campus December of 2023. They get to kind of get roped in practice. And Ryan Puglisi has been doing that, and he apparently has been turning heads. I want to read a little bit of what Warren Brinson had to say. Ryan Curley from Dawg Post talking about Georgia's quarterback situation with Ryan Puglisi. Is this guy for real? I've yet to get to watch him throw in person. I don't think a lot of people have, right? This is a guy from Connecticut, 4-star kid. He was, if I'm not mistaken, was a 3-star when Georgia offered him and he committed. When things like that happen, attention grows, ratings grow. Shoots up to a 4-star, ends up being one of the top 10 quarterback prospects in this class. So Warren Brinson said, I was in his face talking crap. I won't curse. I was in his face talking crap to him before the plays. It doesn't even faze him. They were talking about how, in the caption, and that talks about how players forgot to rotate because they were just in awe watching him throw. Look up Ryan Puglisi highlights if you want to watch the kid throw. We've got some exclusive ones, or had exclusive ones for sure at some point on Dawg Post. Look up Ryan Puglisi and look up Dawg Post at the same time together, and you'll be able to watch some exclusive highlights from him in high school that Matt DeBerry, our recruiting reporter, got for us. Here's what I know about the kid. I'm assuming he loves Georgia. He wants to be here. All right. He's committed to the G. And when I say here, I'm in Athens, obviously. He wants to be here. He's committed to the G. And he's got a big arm. Listed at 6'3", around 205, 210. I've seen it. It's different depending on the website. But he's probably a legit 6'2 to 6'3", 200 pounds. So that's what you're dealing with as far as his frame goes. Not a kid that runs around near as much as a Stetson Bennett or a Gunnar Stockton. I think you're probably getting something a little closer to Carson Beck in terms of how they like to run, how they like to move. Maybe he's a little bit more athletic than Carson. I think Carson's a slightly underrated athlete, a guy that can definitely get first downs when you need those to happen. But this guy, look, Warren Brinson likes to talk. He's fun. He's definitely for the camera. He does the Players Lounge. He does his own show and all of that, and so he's not afraid to say what's going on. But I highly, highly doubt that these players are going on here just making things up. I believe Warren Brinson when he's talking about Ryan Puglisi. The hype train is starting to grow around him. It's interesting. I do kind of want to talk about this because look, I like to call things out. I like to call things for how I see them sometimes. A lot of times I like to call things for how I see them. I feel like that's something I like to do, is I like to see things for what they really are. I think Ryan Puglisi is a really talented kid. I think he has a chance to, one day start for Georgia and maybe be a really good quarterback for Georgia. They wouldn't have gone up there and felt so good about him, about offering and signing him, if they didn't think he had a chance, right? And look, Georgia didn't freak out when Dylan Raiola entered the transfer portal. They didn't. Dylan Raiola, obviously, and I put him in this thumbnail just because this is one of the better images that we have on hand of Ryan Puglisi. But Dylan Raiola, look, he's one of the more hyped up quarterback prospects of the last few years for sure. When you look, part of it, you wear number 15, you can throw sidearms like that. Yeah, you got the hair, right? He gets the Mahomes comparisons. He gets the Caleb Williams comparisons. And listen, I didn't get a chance to go up to Connecticut and watch Puglisi at Avon Old Farms, Connecticut. I did not get a chance to see him up there. I did get to go watch Dylan Raiola a lot, and I obviously, you see it. You see the arm talent. It's there. It's obvious. It's real. I've been on record on here saying I think that Dylan Raiola's arm talent is generational, and I stand by that statement. I think that the things that he can do with the football are very impressive. It doesn't mean he's going to be a really good quarterback, and he very well might go and do that at Nebraska. I'm not wishing any ill will on Dylan Raiola, but Georgia felt good about this, and it's not the end of the world that the Jaden Maiava kid from UNLV, right? They want 4 quarterbacks on the roster. They want depth. They want scholarship quarterbacks. They want depth. They want next man up, and they want to groom people to potentially be starters, all right? 2020 happened, and that was a disastrous situation that was saved by Stetson Bennett and then JT Daniels. If we're being honest about how that really went down in 2020, I mean, it would have been a true freshman Carson Beck out there if they didn't try out Stetson Bennett after the DeJuan Mathis debacle. So they want those 4 quarterbacks on the roster. Jaden Maiava, he says no. Well, look, they're fine for the season most likely when you talk about Carson Beck, Gunnar Stockton, and then Ryan Puglisi. They do want that depth, but they didn't freak out when Raiola left. They went out and they got KJ Bolden. I think that opened the door a little bit. That's kind of what we're hearing on the inside is that, Raiola leaving has actually, helped open the door a little bit for KJ Bolden to come through. And then everybody got really excited about Ryan Puglisi. On Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok, what's circulating after Dylan Raiola decides he's going to Nebraska? It's clips of Ryan Puglisi talking about how committed he is to the G, how committed he is to Georgia. At the end of the day, Georgia wants guys like that. They want guys that want to play for the university. The talent obviously matters, and this kid obviously has a ton of it. He's got a big arm. They referenced a throw in that Players Lounge podcast. They reference a throw that he made that Warren Brinson said that they had to watch over and over again because it was so good. A throw that he made running to his right, throwing across his left shoulder. Look, I'm not going to take too much out of what was said in a podcast. I didn't see this throw myself. I can't analyze it and give you my real opinion on it. But what I can tell you is if you can do those things, and if you can do those things consistently, talking about breaking a defense. You're talking about breaking a defense if you can make crazy throws like that. I mean, you're talking about Aaron Rodgers type of stuff, Patrick Mahomes type of stuff, Caleb Williams type of stuff. Those things are starting to rise more and more as football evolves, as the quarterback position evolves. You're seeing more and more talent. And look, who was one of the OGs with that, with arm talent is Matthew Stafford, man. You watch him in the playoffs. I know that they got bounced by the Lions, but man, did you watch that game against the Lions? Do you see how many sick throws Matthew Stafford made? There's a reason why LA won a Super Bowl that year, and he was part of it. And there's a reason why he has really impressive numbers over his career. Back to Ryan Puglisi. From everything I can tell, everything has been so positive about him. It's been very, very positive. I want people to temper their expectations for freshmen. Obviously, he's not going to play, right? I mean, he's just not. Because at best right now, he's the QB3. And so this is a future thing when we talk about Ryan Puglisi. But nonetheless, it's an important thing to talk about when talking about the position and talking about him. If you can have a big arm, if you can be accurate, if you can be a leader and a good decision maker, those are the 4... I'd argue 4 of the most important, if not the most important, traits that you want in a quarterback, and definitely Kirby has said over and over how much that those things matter to him. So obviously they went up there and they found that with Ryan Puglisi. What does Kirby Smart do in recruiting? What has he said over and over to us? Or he's at least said it once to the media. We leave no stone unturned. They went up and they found that guy. And who knows what the recruiting trail would have been like with him if Georgia wasn't early on him and if Dawg Post wasn't early on him, right? Make sure you're signing up for our newsletter. I'm linking that down below in the description. You want to be an elite Georgia fan? You want to know about guys like Ryan Puglisi ahead of time, ahead of the curve? You want to be able to tell your buddy, hey, man, you should go check out this Ryan Puglisi kid. I think he's going to be something one day. I saw his highlights on Dawg Post. I saw a story about him on Dawg Post. That's what you need to be doing. And if you're signed up for our newsletter, you can definitely do that. Thank you for watching. I wanted to share some thoughts about Ryan Puglisi and a little bit about Dylan Raiola there. Obviously, everyone turned to a real positive outlook with Puglisi. But look, That's how things go, right? I mean, next man up. And that's how it is at Georgia. That's how it is on the recruiting trail. And so far, Ryan Puglisi has made a good impression on the Georgia team at the very least. And he's made a good impression on Dawg Post. Thank you for watching.